I've never heard a person scream like this in my entire life. Just, "Oh, my teeth! My teeth!"
Oh,
Remember when the most dangerous place in your life wasn't the road, the workplace, or downtown at 2 a.m.? It was recess. As adults, when we think about accidents or getting hurt, we usually think about dangerous places or dangerous jobs, construction sites, oil rigs, horrible road conditions. But when we were kids, there was really only one place we feared getting hurt, and ironically, it was a place we spent most of our time, the playground. The only place specifically built for children that also had a surprisingly high chance of maiming them. From giant metal slides that reached 1,000 degrees in the summer, to teeth chattering teeter-totters, to all kinds of flying projectiles, the playground was one of the most dangerous places we could go. And yet somehow, that danger never stopped us from going back, time and time again, risking it all for a little fun and adventure. Today, I'm joined by my awesome guest, Nicholas T. Smith from Wake Up with Giants TV, to talk about some of our most memorable playground misadventures from when we were kids. So grab yourself some Band-Aids and a bottle of antiseptic, and let's take a trip back to the days when having fun was the most dangerous thing we could do. Nick, first off, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm actually like super stoked to have you here.
yeah, thank you. That's cool. I love the intro.
Thank you, man. And before we begin, just why don't you take the chance just to tell everybody in the audience like a little bit about what you're doing over there at Wake Up with Giants TV. And I know you're also an author, so yeah, like tell us a little bit about like who you are and what you got going on.
Yeah, so I wrote a book called The Giants and the Smalls, got it published in 2020. And simultaneously, we launched our podcast, Wake Up with Giants TV. So now we're on our 350th episode, over 900 uploads on the channel. So we've been cranking out content. We created from that book and those interviews what we call the 12 journeys. So at my12journeys.com, we go through and teach people how to be giants and rewrite their inner story from the inside out, so that they can live a giant life. And so all of our interviews are geared toward that. And we were lucky enough to have you on there.
You know what?
And
Yeah. And dude, I
that,
had so much fun, and I actually got to thank you guys because I had so much fun going on your podcast that after we stopped, I was like, dude, that was so fun. And I got to find a way to do more of that. And eventually I decided that the best way to do that was to make my own podcast.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
So you guys
Yeah,
are like actually like very, very like indirectly responsible for the creation of this one.
this is our playground, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, man. Well, so our episode today is called Playground Perils, and you hit it already. We're gonna talk about like some of the craziest things we did on playgrounds as kids, and just like share some of our war stories, and just think about back, like the reason I thought about this episode was so my daughter is 4 years old now, and I've been taking her to the playground for a couple years, and most of the playgrounds we go to. They're like really modernized. They got the rubber floor. There's nothing like super dangerous. The swings have like a 2 foot chain. Like you can't get hurt. But then one day we went to a different part of a town where we live, and there was this super dangerous playground. And I was like, who designed like this was designed by somebody from the 80s. And it kind of made me start thinking about like this reminds me of playgrounds back in the day, like from we were when we were growing up.
They were like population control.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Like I
Yeah.
actually used to fear. We had some playgrounds in Victoria where I grew up. Like I would actually like be like pretty sure that I could die on the playground if I like took a misstep.
Yeah, it seemed like everything was engineered to hurt or maim or kill you. And I look at that teeter totter in the background that you
Yeah,
have, and I'm like, that's like only 2 inches off the ground. I remember ours, we were like 10 feet off the
dude,
ground.
dude, they were huge. And would you ever
Yeah,
go on a teeter-totter with a bigger kid and like they would like sit on the bottom and not let you down, or they'd come up a
yeah.
little bit and bump you?
And then you're leaning over that tiny
Leaning,
little handle.
screaming, stop,
Uh-huh.
stop.
And then the metal slides are designed to cook you. The wood beams were 20, 30 feet off the ground.
Dude, yeah, exactly. And like and And the slats, like the slats on the wooden play structures, those used to seem like so far apart. You know what I'm saying? Like now they're like an inch or something, but back in the day, I actually used to think that like I had a chance of like falling through those slats and just like dying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so the metal slide, I specifically, so when I got Chat GPT to make this background for me, when I was a kid, there was this playground. My grandparents had a trailer at this place called Shawnigan Lake Trailer Park, and there's this giant metal slide just like that. And we were only ever there in the summer because you went swimming in the lake and stuff. And it was like the weird kid ritual that every time you were going to go for a swim, you also had to climb up the metal slide and slide down. You had to like earn your swim. And dude, that thing used to burn us like so bad. And it wasn't just like, ooh, that's hot. It's like, no, we like kids were screaming.
Yeah. I grew up in St. George,
Yeah,
Utah.
yeah,
And in the summer it gets up to 105, 110 degrees. And we would be out on these playgrounds,
yeah.
so a lot of the time we had to wait till it got dark to even go play
Holy
because it's
smokes.
just so, yeah, so miserable. But
Nocturnal.
if you get on one of those, it's 300 degrees, 1,000 degrees, cook eggs on it. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Um, like, okay, so the slides today, they're all plastic and stuff, so they don't get as hot. But the thing that bugs me about this is like every time I take my daughter to the playground, she goes down the slide, and by the time she gets to the bottom, her hair is like sticking up all over the place like Einstein because of the static electricity. And then I'll go to grab her
Right?
hand to help her off, and I just get this like huge like shock. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
we traded static electricity
Yeah.
shocks for like third degree burns.
Yeah, it's probably a little safer that way.
I think it's
And
safer.
and they loop, it's an easy
Oh, I
slide
know. I
down,
know.
you know.
I saw this video on I think it was YouTube. I guess there was this playground somewhere in some city, and I guess people had been complaining about it that it was unsafe. They had this really long metal slide and it was a tube slide. And so I guess this cop had come to like check it out, and he went down the slide to like see. It's like, oh, these people are probably just like exaggerating. This guy just comes flying out the bottom, and he launches like 6 feet. And he's like this big guy. He's not like some tiny little guy. He's just like
Yeah,
probably like 200 plus pound cop, and he just comes flying out, and he gets really hurt. And I was like, yeah, no, that is like classic playground hazard.
dude, his bullets are going off because it's so hot in there. They're just misfiring because they're cooking.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Okay, I want to go back to teeter totters for a second. Did you ever
yeah.
get like hurt by a teeter totter?
No, not by a teeter totter, by the spinning things.
Well, okay,
Remember
tell me about.
those?
Yeah, tell me. Oh, yes, 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 I do know. Tell me
Yeah.
about that one.
Well, so we used to just get on there and just run as fast as we could to get that thing spinning, and you would fly off of it into
Oh
the
yeah.
dirt, right? Because you can't hold on,
Yeah,
and the G forces are just so strong. I had an experience. It wasn't on that, but it was on the teacups,
yeah,
and I was with a bunch of buddies, and the teacups where you can spin them even faster while they're spinning.
yes.
So my friends thought it was an awesome idea to start spinning that as quick as they could. And I got so sick, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. And my buddy says, "Well, don't throw up in here." He pushes my head back. And I'm like, no, that's worse. And I started just hurling. And I've never seen people clear out of a sprinkler, dude, like this sprinkler. And my friends were out of that thing while it was going 100 miles an hour. I don't know how they did it, but I was like a human sprinkler on that. It was terrible.
It's
And then
gross.
and then the night that happened, I
Yeah.
was so nauseous all day. Then we went and flew in an airplane
Oh my
after,
gosh.
and they were doing the up and down. I was like, oh, I don't think
Oh
I could
man.
ever do that again.
Was that an amusement? Is it at an amusement park or was that like a city
It,
park?
it it was at a park, but they had set it up,
Oh, they'd set it up.
like a
Yeah.
little carnival.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, dude, that reminds me of something this is like the urban legend that do you remember that ride, the Gravitron, when like a carnivaler would come? Do you know the
Is it the one
Gravitron?
where you're standing up and
Yes,
you're,
it's the
yeah,
UFO, and there
yeah.
was like always the urban legend that like, oh, make sure someone doesn't like puke during the Gravitron because it'll just like be like a centrifuge in the middle.
I was that. I was that.
Oh my
Except my
gosh.
head was tilted back, so it was like I was watering the lawn. And I was like, oh. I can't even remember it because it was so blurry, you know. All I knew is I looked back and my friends were all gone.
I'm just trying to picture that from like a parent's perspective. Like imagine just like being a parent at the
Oh.
park and just watching kids on the whatever that thing is, and all of a sudden one guy just tilts his head back and just, what is going on over there? It's like, what am I seeing?
What kind of ride is that? That looks fun.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I don't
Uh
think you want funnel cake after that
no, I
one.
don't think you do. Time for some new wood chips.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so that reminds me of like when I was a kid, my elementary school, we had the tire swings. We didn't
Yeah.
have those like spinny things, but we had tire swings, and there was three chains on the tire swing. And like the fun thing to do was for like one kid to hold on to a couple chains, and then like a bigger kid would spin it round and round, and it would be the same thing,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You'd get enough
Yep.
G forces, and then eventually you're like horizontal. And but dude, it was one of those things where you tell the kid to stop. And I remember like one time I was the guy holding on, and the kid doing it was a total jerk. Like he was like the schoolyard bully. I never should have let him push me. I knew what was gonna happen. And he wouldn't stop. And I couldn't hold on, dude. And I was like, I actually could have got like seriously injured because there's like the wooden stands on two sides of the teeter totter or the tire swing. There's like the wooden
Yeah.
stands holding it into the ground, the posts, and there's only like open space on two sides. And I was like, dude, there was no way I could keep holding on. And he wouldn't stop. I was screaming, like crying, terrified. And I was just so lucky that when I finally let go, I didn't hit the posts. I like went out one of the open sides. But dude, I remember just like sliding across the gravel and getting so like
Oh
messed
my
up.
gosh.
Hands were
Yeah.
bleeding, leg was bleeding, and it's just like, oh man, that's like one of my first early memories of getting like really hurt on a playground.
Yeah.
And
Dude, I remember like the swings too,
yes.
like where they're 20, the chain is 20, 30 feet off the ground. And so you're getting up as high as you can and then jumping out.
Oh yeah.
And my older brother, I don't know if he fell off or fell out of the swing, but he landed on his back, got a concussion. It was yeah, that's our playgrounds, right?
Dude, that was it. Um, well, and so the reason I asked about teeter totters was because like I remember like the playground by my house when I was a kid, they had these, like you said, these really long teeter totters where you could go really high. And
Yeah.
one of the neighborhood kids I was playing with one of the neighborhood kids, he was bigger than me. And like, he's like, I don't know, 5 years older, so quite a bit bigger. And I can't remember what happened. I tried to get off the teeter totter, and then he tried to like bump me up as I was getting off, but he missed,
Yeah.
and he just boom, and he like,
Oh,
oh dude, he hit me in the chin, and I just went like flying backwards, and just it literally like knocked me on my back. It was so powerful, and I was just like, I don't know how I didn't lose any teeth. Like that was a
how
stunner.
are we alive, right?
Dude, how did we not lose like lots of teeth, limbs, fingers, like,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh man. So that triggered a thought,
Right.
that impact. My siblings and I, we would play hide and seek. I have the scar on my head right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Um, and so we couldn't find my sister, and we were all standing by this horse trailer, and we're like, we don't know where she is. And so she flings open the door. Here I am, and it just smacks me on the back of the head, cuts it open. And that was the time my mom was so sick of doing like going to the hospital for stitches. She
Yeah.
decided she was going to do stitches.
No.
And that cured us getting hurt because she would soak the sewing thread in wax and the needle, and she'd cook it, clean it, and then she would sew us together. Like that, these stitches here are from my mom.
Did she have any medical training, or was this just like,
No, no. She's just sick of medical bills. She had 11 kids, It's like this is too expensive.
dude?
And and then my brothers would play tag on a three-wheeler,
Yeah.
and they would never let us be it, the little kids.
Yeah.
And the way you got tagged was them running over you.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you'd hear the tire run over you. And my brother like hit his head on the skid plate on the the three wheeler, but they just kept going. They're going 30, 40 miles an hour on that three wheeler and they just run over you.
And your siblings all survived? Like you guys
We're
survived
all
these games?
alive. Yeah. Yeah. We're all alive.
Can you imagine today, like if you saw some kids like playing in the neighborhood and you watched one of them run the other one over with a three-wheeler, like that it just wouldn't fly today. But back
The
then it was
attempted
like
murder, right?
totally, but back then it was like, ah, this is just kids having fun.
Oh, look at them. That looks fun.
We'll just sew up their heads if anything happens. It's not a big
Right.
deal.
Right. They're going to be all right. It's going to
Holy
teach them
smokes,
grit.
dude. Your stories are putting me to shame. I thought I was like I thought it's had some war stories here. Um, okay, so this takes me back to, man, it's like just kind of thinking about like how much playgrounds have changed. What was a
Yeah.
playground like at your school? Let's say like your elementary school when you were growing up.
Yeah, so it was all made out of wood
Okay.
and it was big.
Yeah.
Like I remember when they installed it, there were beams across the top for the swings,
Yeah.
and you had to climb up to get on top of those. But kids were on top of those, there was no protection. Like now they have walls and you can't get out and up on top of these things. It's really hard to climb them. But back then it was free reign. And we were excited because it had everything. It
Yeah.
kind of looks like that one in the background there, the all wood,
Yeah.
where you could access everything, the big metal slides. But these slides are like, I remember Wet and Wild in Vegas, the Dare Stuka, which was the long slide that you drop down and you
Oh yeah.
you launch
Yeah.
out. I was
Yeah.
so terrified of that. But some of these slides were that steep and not quite as tall. But our playgrounds were not built for safety at all,
No.
at
That was
all. They were
like,
built for play.
dude, they were built for like physical endurance and yeah, physical activity. Like back when PE really meant like physical education. Like you got an extreme workout.
Yeah.
It was like a Marine certification course, like every day. Like, all right, do the monkey bars, climb that wall.
They were like, easy,
Easy
easy.
peasy. I used to watch like when I was a kid, sometimes like they'd have on TV, they'd show like some like Marine boot camp, and I was like, it's a playground. And I was like always shocked that none of the adults could do it. They're like struggling.
What are these wussies doing, man?
These are
Like
the guys
that's
protecting the
easy.
country.
That's
These
child's play.
weaklings.
Yeah. Good grief. My 4-year-old could do that.
Well, totally, man. So I remember my elementary school. We had we had this metal dome. I think there's one in the background of my picture. Maybe not. Oh no, it's kind of cut off. We had this metal dome, and like the most popular activity at lunch and recess was for two kids, usually two boys, to like climb their way like hand over hand to the middle of the dome, and then it was called chicken fighting. And we would hang there, and we would like kick each other in the chest and like the shoulders, and then you'd like put your legs on top of the other guy's shoulders and start like hacking him with your legs, trying to like get him to drop.
Yeah.
And this was totally fine. And the recess duty teachers, like the supervisors, would walk by and be like, "Hi, boys," like no problem.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It was
nowadays,
allowed. You
dude,
know what's funny
nowadays,
is I
yeah,
saw like a Japanese game show the other
yes,
day, and
yes,
they're hanging and kicking each other
yes,
off of like they're hung pretty high.
yeah. I know the exact one you're talking about.
Yeah. They were like beating the crap out of each other. I'm like, that's our playground right there.
That was it, man.
Look
Those are
at them.
those are kids who never grew up.
Yeah. Right.
They're like, I was the king of the playground back in '86, and I'm keeping that title.
It's like Squid Game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. But yeah, and like we also had this giant metal, all metal, like not a single piece of plastic or foam padding or anything. It was this huge play structure with like ladders, like the horizontal bars that gymnasts do, monkey bars, and we used to like climb to the top of this thing. Like as a kid, this thing was like it looked like seemed like it was like 40 feet tall. I'm sure if I went back today and
Yeah.
looked at it, wouldn't quite look so imposing.
You'd be
But
able to touch the top.
I could I could
See
probably
what's on
touch the
top of the
top,
fridge.
but I
Yeah.
guarantee you I couldn't do the monkey bars from end to end anymore. But like but
No.
but dude, kids were like running across the top of that thing, jumping from like one metal part, like leaping like a flying squirrel, grabbing the bars, flipping over. Like it was so fun. And yet as an adult, dude, you couldn't pay me to do that. Like no
No.
way.
No, no. And I think of like the rope bridges and stuff like
Yeah.
that, where you just
Yes.
try to launch each other off of it. And everything was about like getting somebody else off of that equipment, right?
Yeah. Ex
As
ex
quick as you can.
exactly. And I think about some of the weird games kids came up with too. Like I was thinking about this morning. I didn't actually put it in
Yeah.
my original episode outline, but I remember like so I was let's just say I was in grade 4 at the time. The grade above me, this grade, it was like a bad year. Like they had a lot of just mean people in this grade, like a lot of jerks,
Yeah.
a lot of really mean people. And the grade above them too, my brother's grade, like most of the kids were not very nice. And so a lot of the school bullies were in this cohort. And their favorite thing to do at lunch, which always like kind of made me laugh, we had this big flat wall, like we had a concrete wall backing one of the parts of the school. And they would go and they would lean against, they would put their hands on the wall, a bunch of them, and they would stick their butts out really far like a baboon. And one guy had a tennis ball and he would
Yes. Oh my gosh.
whip it at
Yeah.
them as hard as he could. And this game was called Red
Yes.
Ass. And
We
that's
played that.
dude, that's how these guys chose to spend their lunchtime.
We played that and it would hurt. Like some of these kids could wing that.
Dude, yeah, like the baseball pitchers and stuff.
So in middle school, we had dodgeball,
Yeah.
as part of our PE,
Oh yeah.
and our coach was ripped. He was like an old guy, and that guy could throw it 100 miles an hour. And we're little eighth graders, and this dude is winging it across the field, like taking people's legs out from under him. It hits them so hard. And you've got this adult throwing as hard as he can. And then some of the kids were pretty strong and they could whip it too. But I was so scared of dodgeball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
And
for the faint.
red ass, like we'd play that with the tennis ball or the little racket ball, the little rubber one, which would hurt even worse.
That is a game that you only play before puberty.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. You imagine some adults out there playing that? It actually would be pretty fun.
All right, guys.
Revive some of these.
Here's what I think we should do for lunch.
Yeah.
We're gonna, bunch of us are gonna go stand against the wall, spread our legs as far as we can, and stick our butts out. And you're gonna take this racquetball and whip it at my crotch and my butt as hard as you can. Okay? What do you for 45 minutes? Like,
And then we'll come back and work.
yeah,
Yeah. Should be good.
sounds
Oh man, I
awesome.
think we need it. I think we
Bring
need
back
it.
red ass.
Yeah. And we used to play, I was in like second grade and we'd play kissing tag. You couldn't get away with that now.
What was that?
You know,
Kissing tag?
kissing tag. You
Oh yeah,
tackle the
dude.
girls and give them a kiss.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't the cutest kid. No way, dude. The girls would run. And so here I am, this little second grade creeper trying to get a kiss, and we would have to play in the snow
Yeah.
and it's deep. And I remember going in and somebody tackled me and I landed right on somebody's knee, right on my
Oh,
nose. And I
oh,
just started just burst in tears,
oh
just
my gosh,
it
man.
hurt so bad. I remember that. But I think that was the last year I played. I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
I'm
This is
out.
too hard.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Shouldn't be this hard.
that's funny, man. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Like, yeah, like kissing tag, and we didn't play that at my school, but we just played the chase game, and like all the
Yeah.
guys and girls would chase each other, and so you would always chase the person you had a crush on, and if
Yeah.
some girl
Yeah.
was chasing you, you're like, yes, you're like she likes me,
Yes.
but your whole thing is trying to get away from her. It's like this weird like child psychology thing of
Right.
like what do we, you can't just like. Uh, yeah, you can't
What's
just like admit like, hey, I like you. You want to hang out? It's like, no, I'm just gonna chase you on the playground.
That's funny. That brings up a story if you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
16, 17 years old,
Yeah.
St. George. It's hot during the day, hot at night. So we'd get out and play night games, and so we'd play tag in the park. And we were serious about it. So these girls wanted to come play, and we're like, "Yeah, come on." And I remember this girl's chasing me through the park, and I clear this picnic table, and I look back, and she's gone. And my friends say she she tried to clear the table, but her foot caught, and she somersaulted over the table and landed on her back. And I was like, "Yeah, yeah," like I got away. And I remember like we'd play ball tag, with my friends, and that was the worst. My friends would come into my work and they'd throw the ball at me and they'd bolt out of there, and you didn't want to be it, no matter where you were. And they would do the extreme. Like I had friends on missions in other countries, and they would mail it to them and hide it in the bottom of the package. So they'd dig in there, they'd have to touch it, and then they would be it in another country.
Dude, that is crazy.
Yeah. So we would take it to the extreme.
International ball tag.
International ball tag.
Dude, that is hilarious.
Don't be it.
Yeah, don't be it. You gotta.
Nothing worse than being it.
Oh man, that's funny. Uh, I'm trying to think of like, yeah, ball tag was a good one. I'm just trying to think if like I have any more memories of like seeing someone on like a school playground get really hurt or like from something. But I feel like do you remember gym class? Like it's playground adjacent, but I just feel
Yeah.
like not a day went by in elementary school where I didn't see someone in the medical room with like some serious injury or like a bloody face or like being let in like they got hit in the face with a baseball bat in gym class, and it's just like
Right.
what was up with that, man? Like it was like rough and tumble back then.
Dude, it wasn't for the weak.
Not for the faint of heart. I remember my
Uh,
gym class, we had to play field hockey, and dude, I was terrified of field hockey, dude, because like no one no one seemed to like put together that there was actually like if you're raising like your hockey club above your head and not looking around, like you're probably gonna hit someone in the face.
there's somebody there, right?
There's somebody there, and these guys would just raise their clubs up and like whack they not even looking and just like whack the ball behind them full force. These field hockey balls would be flying at face level, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I remember I was like, it's just a matter of time before like someone gets seriously hurt.
No face protection. There's like
Nothing.
you're in your reused gym clothes with your name written on it, and it stinks, and you're like, I gotta wear this again.
Yeah, listen, guys, we gave you a penny. That's all the protection you need.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're sure if it doesn't protect you, then you're on your own.
It's your own
So
fault. You really
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
weak person.
Go cry in the corner.
Well, that's
Yeah,
exactly it, man. All right, so I gotta ask you that that picnic table story,
yeah.
was that like the worst injury you ever saw on a playground
Uh, no, okay. Well, on a playground, yeah, but
or
we got in trouble.
playground related?
Yeah, so we would try and find anything we could, we'd turn anything into a playground.
Yeah, yeah.
So in Zion National Park, I got in trouble for this one because we got caught. Um, we would run through the tunnel. It's pitch black. It's a mile long, and there's these little grooves in the wall. And we'd take sticks, construction sticks, and run through, and all you can feel is the wall. But if somebody was new, like we were mean, if somebody was new, we wouldn't tell them about this one part where you lose the wall. It's this is mean, I won't do this again. But it dips in and then
Yeah.
it comes out and then it comes back out.
Oh.
And if they don't know it, they're gonna smack their face in it. And so we had one kid we didn't like, and we didn't tell him. So we were all running through this tunnel, and he loses the wall and he finds it and takes off sprinting and smacks face first into this wall, puts his
Oh.
tooth through his lip, like
Oh.
like yeah, it wasn't good. So that was probably the worst that I saw.
And what did you guys do?
Um,
Laugh at him? Like, ha ha.
yeah, back then. and now I'd be like, nah, that's not cool, dude. But back then, yeah, we were built a little different.
Dude, kids are mean, man. Kids are mean.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, well, you've really come a long way.
But yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Like you and I were talking about the show, we all have it in us, right?
Oh
But
yeah, totally, man.
yeah,
We got the devil and the angel inside of all of us.
yeah, yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's why I'm trying to
Not
get my.
not the highlight reel of my life for sure.
Yeah, well, we all have our own things. Um, that's why I'm trying to get my daughter into martial arts. I'm like, she's only 4. I'm like, I want this
Yeah,
girl kickboxing and doing jujitsu before she goes to elementary school.
yeah, yeah, right.
You know, I know what these
They're tough.
little kids are like. You know, I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
sending her in there like unprepared.
We're not going to that weak playground. We're gonna go to a real one. I wonder if
Exactly.
they're still there, some of them probably are.
I bet you could find some somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
some small town somewhere.
Where did you raise your kids? Oh,
Well, so
I
okay,
took them
so
to this city.
we live on the Sunshine Coast, which is just it's like a 45-minute ferry ride away from Vancouver.
Yeah,
And it's kind of funny, man. It's a beautiful place, but it is definitely like it's like stepping back in time a little bit.
yeah,
Um, I remember when I first moved here, it was like a time machine because I actually saw kids like doing the stuff we did when we were kids growing up, like a pack of kids running up and down the street, playing hide and seek, running all over people's
yeah.
lawns, sitting on the electrical box, riding bikes, like remote control cars. It was really, really cool to see.
That's way cool.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's stuff I miss. I see my kids and they're inside most of the time and they're on their devices and it's like, man, you guys are missing out. The
Oh,
stuff that we used to do, the games, the night games were
dude,
amazing. The whole
dude.
neighborhood would come out.
Oh yeah, I remember like my friends and I, we used to play like street hockey. We had like a bunch of guys and we would play street hockey. Like you would stop playing when the goalie kept getting injured because he couldn't see the puck or like the ball flying at him anymore. And we didn't wear any safety protection. Like
Yeah.
masks were for wieners. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wearing a mask.
Master for wieners.
Yeah, yeah. Wearing a cup? No, I don't need a cup. And like,
Yeah.
these guys would just get like sacked and hit in the face and finally be like, okay, okay, guys, I think we gotta call it for the night.
Oh man.
You
They,
know?
they would we would create rivalries, some of the night games. Yeah, they got intense.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I remember like as neighborhood kids, we would all get together and just we'd do the water balloon launching and stuff like
Yes.
that at
Yes.
cars and
Some
oh, like we hit a cop car once and we were just I don't know, like it wasn't just one, it was everybody.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was that way.
Oh, totally,
And
dude.
it was so fun.
It's like a weird rite of passage. Like yeah,
Yeah,
launching water balloons. Um, I think everybody knew someone who had like a potato launcher growing up. Like there was like a
yeah,
bazooka.
yep.
Not legal by any stretch of the imagination. I think it was
Blowing
just part,
things up, like we had the big
dude,
firecrackers back then,
totally.
and
Yeah, it was
that
just
was
part of growing up.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like a
yeah,
different world.
yeah,
Um, hey, listen, all this stuff you said, you talk about nighttime and, you know, different things happening and people actually your concrete wall story is what really sparked this. So
yeah,
I'm gonna share I don't feel awesome sharing this story because like I think the guy it happened to might actually listen to the podcast. But
yeah.
it's been a really long time. And
So preface with sorry, man.
preface,
Like,
sorry, man. And
sorry, man.
I am in no way making fun of what happened, but this still
Yeah,
sticks with me, man. This was like a quote unquote traumatizing thing. But dude, it was like okay, so it was my older brother's birthday. So he would have been in probably grade 9. And it was May, like early May. I was in grade 7. And I remember like my brother him and all his friends were a little eccentric. They didn't do the usual like sports growing up. They all played golf
yeah,
and tennis and cricket and stuff. They were a little eccentric, right? And so
yeah,
for part of my brother's birthday, he wanted to go. We had a big park by our house, and he wanted to go to the park and hit golf balls. Now my dad is a paramedic, so my dad can see an accident coming a mile away before it happens.
yeah,
And my dad was so emphatic. He's like, "Listen, I don't want you going and doing that. It's not a good idea. It's dangerous and someone's going to get hurt." And my older brother, he kind of when he was younger, he kind of sounded a little bit like Stewie Griffin off Family Guy. So
yeah,
he'd be like,
yeah.
"Yeah, absolutely not. No one's going to get hurt. We're going to go anyway." And my dad just, I remember just hearing him so many times, like, "Don't do it, don't go." And finally, my dad like bent a little bit. He's like, "Fine, fine. But if you're gonna go, do not, whatever you do not take a real golf ball. Only take practice balls, the little wiffle balls,
Yeah, yeah.
right?" And so he's like, "Whatever you do not take a real ball." And so my older brother kind of like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll think about it, you know? And so he kind of like he took a bunch of wiffle balls, but he definitely smuggled some real golf balls in there.
Oh,
And so I remember like watching him and his friends get ready to go to the park and it was still light out. And me and my best friend, we were on our way to the swimming pool that night. And so we ride our bikes to the pool and we go swimming and stuff and we come back. And as we're coming back, we're riding through the park and it's really dark and we see my brother and we see like all of his friends, and they're still there. It's dark. It's like I don't know, probably like 9:30 now at night. It's
Yeah.
getting pretty dark,
Yeah.
and we kind of roll up. And at the time, I assumed I didn't know my brother had snuck real golf balls yet, so I kind of thought it was safe. I thought it was just being wiffle balls. So we pull up and we're kind of like chatting with people like, "Oh, what do you guys are having fun and all this stuff. This looks cool." And my brother's talking to me and then um all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, hold on a second. I'm going to take a shot." And then I see him put down this real golf ball and he
Yeah.
takes the shot and he lines it up like way too high and he just boom, tees off. And the next thing you know, he just goes, "Andrew, get down." And then you hear this, what? And then the next thing, I've never heard a person scream like this in my entire life. Just, "Oh, my teeth, my teeth."
Oh, oh man.
And then my brother, "Andrew, be quiet. Someone's going to phone the police." Like, dude,
Oh
I have,
my gosh.
I have never heard a human scream like that. So this poor guy, he gets hit right in the face with a line drive golf ball, broke his front teeth. I don't know how many, but
Oh
broke
my
his like
God.
two front teeth at least, some of his bottom ones, screaming bloody murder, like, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you." And this guy, this was like the tough guy in the group. Like he knew
Yeah.
like three different kind of karates and martial arts, and he used to like play fight with us all for fun and just kick the crap out of all of us. Like this was not a
Yeah.
guy you wanted to mess with. So I'm now worried that this guy's that might actually kill my brother, right? And as this is all escalating, like my brother trying to calm him down and Andrew freaking out justifiably, I see this guy running up to the park and it's my dad and he was a paramedic. He's got his
Yeah.
medical kit because dude, he was
He
just probably
knew. He
he knew
knew.
he was on
Yeah.
standby that whole time. He's running up to the park with his medical kit. Thank God he was there because I think he might have saved two lives that night. You know, like he might have stopped Andrew
Yeah.
from bleeding out and he might have saved my brother from getting beat to death, like bludgeoned to death with a
Yeah. Yeah.
with a
Oh
golf
my
club.
gosh.
Dude, I that still sticks with me, man. I just the scream that came out of that guy and just the fear and just the amount of blood, like as my dad was taking him back to the house with he had like the cloth like on his face already, just holding the blood in. And
Yeah.
dude, that was such a crazy story.
Yeah. All the stuff we did, man,
Oh,
it would get us in jail now,
but yeah.
or it'd cause, well, maybe it did already cause psychological trauma, but it wouldn't be allowed because it's like, man, the long-term impact, guys, you can't do that. But
Well,
everything's so safe now, you can't, it's hard to risk,
dude,
right?
it's yeah, you gotta work a little harder to get hurt these days.
You you gotta work a little.
It's like failing at school. Like you gotta try pretty hard to
Yeah,
fail these days. Like it's not, it's a little
that's
bit different
true,
now.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, dude? I'm just looking at the time. Do you have a couple more minutes or do we need to
Oh
wrap
yeah,
this?
for
Yeah?
sure. This is
Okay.
fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about, man? So like once in a while this story comes up in my family because everybody
Yeah.
remembers it. I think my older brother has like blacked it out. He doesn't acknowledge it. He doesn't bring it up, right?
Yeah.
But my dad and I, we talk about it once in a while. And it's kind of funny, man, because like for me, like the main memory of that story is just how much that must have hurt and how awful that must have been for the guy on the receiving end. But for my dad, he's just like, yeah, that was an expensive lesson because he had to pay the dental bill.
Yeah.
So it's like the different perspectives, right? It's like mine is all
Yeah.
empathy and my dad's is all just like financial.
I think that's where we go.
I
Like the
think that's
older
where
you get, the more financial it gets.
well, that's exactly it, right? And for
Yeah.
him, a paramedic, this was nothing. He deals with
Yeah.
like this was like a nothing. But for people who aren't used to that kind of thing, like that's like, you know,
Well, I remember like how feral we were
oh
as
yeah,
kids. There was no oversight. If you
nope,
came home at 10, 11 o'clock, as
yeah,
long as you're home by curfew, it didn't matter where you were.
dude,
You knew
yeah,
you were safe.
totally,
And as a young kid, we grew up on 90 acres of land. It was
holy,
just farmland. It's
wow,
just we could go explore. I remember we used to play war with real guns, which it would be a huge no-no. There were no bullets in them, but we would full on like shoot each other with BB guns.
yeah,
My older brother, we were playing darts, and he freaking threw one right in my knee, like just bullying. And we used to smash 22 shells.
Yeah,
with rocks and
yeah,
hammers
yeah,
because they sounded cool. And man, I got grazed on my arm by one, and we
yeah.
didn't quit. It's like that's part of the game, you
That's
know.
part
You
of
just
it,
keep going.
dude. That's it.
It's so dangerous. But
Yeah,
that was life. It was feral.
yeah, and like you thought about it, but you didn't think about it. You just kind of
Yeah,
like you were more focused on the fun you were gonna have versus the
yeah,
possibility of getting hurt.
yeah, yeah.
And I
Life
think
was
I think
it
it's
was
like
good.
yeah, well totally, dude. And like so my grandpa so he was in World War II and he was in the
Yeah,
Navy and he always I said like were you scared when you joined up? He's like, "No, because I always thought it would be the other guys who were going to get hurt or killed." He's like, "Never crossed
yeah,
my mind that it might be me." And that's
yeah.
like
I
the
wasn't scared.
psychology that we had.
Yeah, I grew up on a playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, had the best training you can get.
Dude, that's exactly it. Yeah, I
Right.
am ready to pass your physical fitness test.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they had those over there, so
Nope. Oh
we're gonna
man.
win.
And you know what's funny too, man, is just going back to that golf story.
Yeah,
That is a strong friendship because those guys, my brother and Andrew, they're still like best friends today.
really.
Yeah, man, that friendship survived that like horrible incident, you know?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and I think that says a lot. I think that also says a lot about like the strength of our friendships back then.
Yeah, yeah. We could do some pretty mean stuff to each other and still be friends.
Totally,
You
man.
know?
Totally. You know, I had some of my friends like we used to play fight all the time and they were all bigger than me like back then. Well, most of them still
Yeah,
are. But yeah, they would like pick me up and like body slam me and like smack my head into the concrete. And I was like, "You idiot." But like 5 minutes later, we're doing it again.
reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite. You
Dude, totally.
idiot.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I had
You
been
idiot.
fighting guys like Kip. I might have come out on top.
Yeah, man. My brothers, man. So there's 11 kids,
Yeah.
and you know my brothers were all bigger than me. I'm the shortest one in the family,
Yeah.
but they would team up. We would make boxing gloves out of
Go.
socks
Yeah.
and go at it, you know,
Yes. Yes.
and just pad those up. But it really didn't do anything because the socks would slip past the knuckles,
Oh yeah.
and you'd be just punching each other.
Yeah.
Dude, stuff like that, and we're great. You know, I look at my brothers, and even though we did all that stuff, we're still good today. You know, we're friends, and that's how it was with friends too. Like you were talking about on the golf course, it's like you could beat the crap out of each other, and then the next day hang out like nothing happened, right?
Or you talk about how awesome it was.
Yeah,
Like my friend and my best friend when I was a kid, we used to do that too. We used to put on like winter gloves and have these and like put like sleeping bags down on the ground during sleepovers. And you make a ring and
yeah,
you just like like full on punching each other in the face. But you never got mad at the guy. You'd be like, dude, that was a good shot.
that was a good shot, right?
Yeah. We'd have
Yeah,
like I remember one time like we were doing that in the basement at my parents' house. And my parents had like a barbell, like where you put the you like for a weight bench, like the what is that, the barbell that all the
yeah,
weights go on? Yeah.
yeah,
So I had this big barbell sitting in the corner. My friend and I are like fighting each other, or like punching each other, and all of a sudden my friend sees this barbell in the corner. He grabs it and he holds it down like a spear and he charges across the room with full force and he hits me in the stomach and he shoves me in the corner. And I was
oh
like,
my
"Oh!"
God. He's like, let's go grab some food,
But that was it, dude. Like we
right?
still talked about it. We're like, dude, you remember? Like we both have like amazing memories. It wasn't like, remember that time you like speared me in the stomach and almost tried to kill me? It's like, no, it's like it's just like we talk about it and it's just like this hilarious memory we look back on.
Yeah, dude, I remember like friends would get in full on fights. I was
Oh yeah.
friends with two groups of people and they didn't know each other. And then they get in a fight and then they become best friends after that fight. And it's like, how does that even happen?
Dude, I know. I think it's like almost part of like a respect thing. You're like, oh,
Uh,
this guy's on my level.
or we get them all together. I bought these big, huge boxing gloves and we'd all
Yeah.
get in the backyard and take rounds at each other.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't matter how hard you hit each other, you're
Yeah.
friends after, you
We used to
know?
do that too. Dude, like, did you ever have crazy pillow fights back in the day?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's like these guys would hit you so hard, like as an adult, you'd be like going to the chiropractor the next day. Like you'd be laid up for
Yeah.
days, dude. People just used to beat each other like as hard as they could. And it's like, I
Slip
can't
a
believe
disc. Yeah.
Yeah, I get concussed from a pillow. Like,
Yeah. What happened to you?
yeah, totally, dude.
Pillow fight.
But we loved it. We thrived on it.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
pillows were heavy. They were heavy back then. They weren't
heavy
these
duty,
brown
man.
pillows. Uh-uh.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of like I'm gonna wrap this one up here because I think we've just shared so many great stories, and
Yeah,
I want to end on a high note, man. But I think that says a lot about just like what we went through growing up because like we did go through some painful experiences, and
yeah,
we did stuff that kind of hurt each other. But like, dude, if your friendship survives all that stuff,
yeah.
that's a friendship that will never die, even if
That
your friend is trying to kill you.
that's true. Yeah. Even if your friend is trying to kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there are some cases where that might not be
yeah,
accurate.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right, man. Well, hey, dude, I just want to really thank you for coming on, man. That was like super fun.
Yeah, you too, Adam. So
Yeah,
always fun.
that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks
And
for letting me do this.
yeah, dude, thank you. And everybody out there, I want to thank you for listening and hope you're enjoying season two as much as I am. I'm having a blast making it. So, yeah, I want to thank my amazing guest, Nicholas T. Smith, for coming on the show. Go ahead, support him. Check out Wake Up with Giants TV. It's absolutely awesome. It's on YouTube. Your book is available on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
If they go to
oh, yeah.
my12journeys.com,
Yes.
so the number 12, so my12journeys.com, everything's there.
Awesome.
Tons of stuff to support you.
Well, that's great. And if you like the episode, please like, follow, or subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with someone who might get a kick out of it. And if you're interested in more feel-good nostalgia and can't wait another week, please check out my book, Remember When, which is available on Amazon. That's just full of stories like this one. And as closing thought, I just want to encourage everyone that we talked a lot today about sports and activities. So, we did a lot of that when we were kids, and I just want to encourage you that if that's something you've been thinking about taking up as an adult, but you're holding back because you're worried you might get hurt, I just want to encourage you, like, not to do it because you probably will get hurt. And unlike when you're a kid, you're not going to recover in 5 minutes. It's going to take you a week or two, or
Yeah.
maybe a month or two. So honestly, just stay on the couch where it's safe and just watch some Netflix.
Or do it and send us the video.
Send us the video and then
Yeah.
come on and be a guest.
Yeah. That.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.